Hey, welcome everybody to Oracle Rising. My name is Robin. Thank you so much for joining me, sending love and light to each and every one of you. So today I'm going to talk about improving mental health and strength of mind and improving your clarity, okay? Because we live in such a toxic world right now. There's a lot of things going on that can really attack your mental strength. So it's important for all of us, especially as light workers, to just really stay strong and allow ourselves to be impervious from mental and toxic attacks on the brain, body, and soul. So I do have 7 points here to review, and Miss Lacey is just getting comfortable on the couch here off to my side, so I try not to get distracted by her. So there's some things that are really toxic behavior that we are all guilty of, and myself included. I've done probably, every single thing on this list too. So the first thing I have on this list is to stop procrastinating, okay? Just putting things off. And I just saw angel number 111. That's a really actually toxic behavior. And I'm not talking about if you're sick or you're taking care of somebody else, or you've just gone for 12 hours and you just don't have another ounce to give. I'm talking about allowing kind of sloth to set in. This can be very difficult too for people that are having any sort of anxiety struggles or, depression or something like that. But try not to put off to tomorrow what you can do today. And I'm sure that's a pretty famous saying, but I have absolutely no idea who to credit that for. It's really easy to make yourself a little list. Don't overwhelm yourself. You can plan things for the rest of the week or the rest of the month. Some things have to happen immediately, like food and childcare and stuff like that, paying your bills. And other stuff can be scheduled out throughout the rest of your week, however you plot your course, okay? So important not to overwhelm yourself, and also important not to procrastinate, okay? So the second tip that I have for you guys is to take 15 minutes alone minimum every day. This can be really challenging. We all have a lot going on. We have responsibilities and work, and a lot of people use public transit to commute. So that's sort of a, not a pleasant experience, at least from what I'm familiar with. Just one sec, guys. Just had something sticking in my eye. I had to get rid of it. So, okay, 15 minutes alone every day. So if you do live alone, you could be thinking, well, I'm already alone all day, so why would I have to schedule that time in? Let's reframe that for people that live on their own, okay? So 15 minutes of intentional mindfulness every day to just sit, shut off any audio stimulation, TV, radio, whatever, music, no books, just sit, okay? And you could call that a meditation. If you live with other people, you definitely want to put yourself in a space where there's nobody else there. And if you're having a hard time blocking them out, I actually use headphones in situations where there's a lot of noise around me. Let's say if I'm traveling or something like that. I use headphones, and then I listen to brown noise because it blocks out everything around, okay? So it's very important. For those of you living with children, here's something that I did when my boys were very young, and we would get home and, it was the work and the daycare and just everybody getting home in different stages of excitement and exhaustion. So I would give the boys their own little egg timer and set it to 15 minutes. And they would go into their room and maybe like pick out their clothing or read a book or do some coloring. And then I would take 15 minutes after getting home just to decompress, okay? So there's all kinds of strategies that you can use to do that, and it makes a huge difference. I've talked about this before, and it's always super important. Gratitude journal or audio affirmations, okay? I have been listening to gratitude affirmations right before I go to sleep, and something that you can pair with that is to look over your list of manifestations. Okay, so you can read that, what it is that you're manifesting into your life, and then listen to your gratitude affirmations. Just a really beautiful combination. One of my favorite things to say is that gratitude is the WD-40 of the universe, okay? And you can't be in a bad mood if you're busy being grateful. So try to remember the balance in that. The next thing that I have is to take steps to improve your physical health. Am I clapping my hands? Anyway, get out and do a little bit of a walk. And I know that we're all in different phases of life and strength, and some people have conditions or injuries that don't allow them to do a whole lot, okay? But there is stuff that you can do in place. If you really can't get out and walk, maybe you could do a Pilates or, something. I've been in a position where I wasn't able to walk for 3 months because I had a significant back injury, but I was given small exercises to do by my physiotherapist, and I did them every day until I was able to get up and do something about it. Recently, I started tracking my calories because I think I was overindulging, and things were getting a little bit uncomfortable in the sense of my waistband. So actually, when I was walking Lacey this morning, yes, I had to put on my ski pants because it's freaking freezing. I was able to do them up without sucking it in. So, that was a win for me, and I was like, woo! So little things like that, like watching your diet and doing a little bit of exercise. Don't overkill anything like that, you guys, either, okay? Be dedicated to positive self-talk is the 5th thing on the list. And this includes your conversations that you have with yourself about other people, okay? Because it's always important to remember this thing is that the universe has no idea if you're talking about somebody else or yourself, okay? So slamming somebody else verbally or internally is just talking about you. It's all about you. So remember that. To clip that thought, there's a technique called cancel, clear, delete, where you recognize a really negative mindset or stream of consciousness, and you stop. You say cancel, clear, delete. You say 3 positive things, and then you carry on. So, tapping into collective consciousness is not always for your highest benefit, depending on where you live and what your neighbors are like, because that consciousness can really erode you. So it can be a constant battle. So really be cognizant and say, I'm going to switch that. If you guys want a really good example of what I'm talking about, there was this movie called Numb, and what's his name that played Chandler Bing was in it, and it was actually a really good movie and quite a bit of a wake-up call. It was entertaining too, so I would recommend that if you're having struggles with really negative self-talk, either about yourself or other people, or if you just can't seem to say something nice about anybody else. Challenging yourself once a day, okay? So this could be something as small as not hitting the snooze button, okay, and getting up on time, or getting up before your alarm, some small challenge. Hey, I'm gonna do this today. I'm gonna make a meal from scratch. It doesn't have to be monumental. It just has to be something that means something to you. If you started an exercise program, maybe add 30 seconds to it, or a minute, or start that exercise program, or do something nice for somebody else that you don't particularly care for. So that challenge is obviously gonna vary depending on who you are. And it doesn't have to be a big one. It can just be something that you're so proud of yourself for doing. Oh, I finally cleaned the toilet. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be glamorous. It just has to be something that you have been putting off or don't want to do. And then the 7th one is to always play to your strengths. Sorry about that. we should know at some point in life what we're good at, what we're not so good at, what we're mediocre at, okay? So always play to your strengths, and it's okay to be in a position where, yeah, I'm not so good at that, so maybe I'll get some help with it, instead of struggling and then falling flat on your face and then making yourself feel bad about it, okay? So identify your strengths and maybe write those down as, you know, a gratitude list as well. You know, I'm so thankful that I'm good at this, and things that I would like to get better at, and then maybe list the things that we would call a weakness or something that you would really need a little bit more practice at. And it's okay to need to do that too. So these are 7 really easy things to do, and you can incorporate many things at one time, especially that 15 minutes alone time. You know, you could do that Pilates or that simple workout. You could write in your journal. You could do your gratitude affirmations, you know, really work on your self-talk. So all of this strengthens you up against the negative collective consciousness, okay? It also increases your strength to repel toxic people in person, you know, where you can just say, that's really not for me, because I'm so dedicated to my own mental health, my own mental strength, my own positive heart and love and light. You know, I really wish you well, but I'm going to bow out, and I have really positive people that I can hang out with and chat to. So, you know, maybe when you cheer up, you can give me a call. So this will really help you on your day-to-day life to see the good in things, to see the good in people, and most of all, be proud of yourself and who you are as a being of love and light. And on that note, namaste. I'm gonna go. Bye.